We'll get back to Dr. Watson's story in a second. But first, I'd like to take a moment to remind you that Battlezone Games is the place to go for all your gaming needs. Whether you're looking for a new game or simply want to come down and make some new friends while playing games at the store. For all the women in the audience, I'd like to invite you to come down on Tuesday night for Ladies' Game Night. If you have a favorite game, bring it along. Or just show up and maybe you'll learn something new. Either way, it'll be a good time. Battlezone Games is conveniently located just off Interstate 380 at 85 Centerpoint Road in Hiawatha. And if you don't live in the area, you can still take advantage of their wide selection at battlezonegames.com. And now, back to tonight's story. Dr. Watson, you and Holmes happened upon the scene of a woman who had been burned to death while underwater.
Yes, it was quite unexpected.
At this point, it seems the cause may be some sort of malfunction with her scuba tank?
That's the working theory so far. But never one to rule out foul play, Holmes suggested that we look into the possibility of the woman's gambling debts as a cause of her unfortunate demise. So, we headed over to Jim's to find out who she owed the most money to. But we were surprised to learn that she didn't have any.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
Yes, my name is Spencer Holmes, and this is my associate, Dr. Jack Watson.
Spencer Holmes. I've heard about you. You're some sort of detective, right?
Some sort is right.
Well, I do have a hobby of using simple logic and deductive reasoning to find answers that the police may otherwise miss. We wanted to ask you a few questions about Miss Jennifer Johnson.
Oh, yeah. I heard about what happened. It's terrible.
Some people are saying her tank exploded. I believe she purchased it here.
Not possible. Those tanks are full of air, not gasoline or something. How could they explode? Besides, she was underwater, right?
Well, she was using equipment from your shop and the new wetsuit she bought here yesterday.
Wetsuit? She didn't buy a wetsuit yesterday.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I only sold one wetsuit yesterday to some guy in the city.
Well, maybe he bought it for her.
Maybe, but she wasn't wearing it today.
Why's that?
'Cause I saw her this morning and she had on a different one. Looked pretty much like the one I sold the guy yesterday, but with a white stripe down the side. I can't believe this happened. I've known her a long time. She was a regular in here, you know.
Yes, we understand she enjoyed poker.
Well, I'm not sure if she enjoyed it, but she did play often.
So she lost a lot?
Yeah, she owed a pretty penny for several years.
Owed? Meaning she didn't anymore?
Yep. Came in a few days ago and paid off the debt.
How much?
50 large.
$50,000? Did she say where she got the money?
Nope, and I didn't ask. I was just happy she finally settled up.
Do you know anyone else who may have had a grudge against her?
Not really. Most people liked her.
And no one cared about her environmental work?
Environmental work?
Yes, you know, scuba diving and releasing the turtles from the fishermen's lines.
I didn't know she was doing that.
That's where she was headed this morning.
It's news to me. Are you sure about that? 'Cause it doesn't really seem like the kind of thing she'd be into.
Why not?
Well, not that she hated animals or anything, but she wasn't exactly a tree hugger, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I think I do. Thank you for your help, Jim. Watson, call Officer Weathers and have him meet us down at the docks. Tell him we have a murderer to arrest. Miss Brown, may we have a word?
Yes, of course. Mark had to run into town, but he should be back in a while. Have you figured out anything more?
Yes, we've had some interesting developments, which is why we brought along the officer here.
I'm Officer Weathers, ma'am. Nice to meet you.
Yes, hello. So, what have you discovered?
It looks like your friend was murdered.
Murdered? Are you sure?
Yes, she had many people that she owed a lot of money to.
And she was working with the police to catch some poachers.
Catch poachers?
Yes, apparently those times that she was going out to dive on her own, she was capturing the turtles. Then she would set up a sting where she would sell them to the poachers, and the police would catch them in the act.
Apparently those turtle shells fetch quite a lot of money on the black market.
Yes, I see. So, she wasn't selling the turtles?
No, just pretending to.
We've also determined the method of murder.
What? You have?
We have a witness who saw her this morning and said she had a white stripe down the side of her wetsuit. Jim tells us the one he sold her didn't have a stripe.
So it was a different suit then?
Maybe, but we believe that someone added the stripe with some material that would burn underwater.
Oh, yes. Well, that makes sense. You know, I remember one of the fisherman's brother owns a foundry where they use a lot of magnesium metal. Last name was Carter, I believe.
Really? Well, perhaps we'll look into him. Thanks for the tip.
Ah, there's Mark. Mark, come down. We've got some good news.
They think a poacher killed Jenny.
A poacher, huh? That figures.
Yes, there's just one thing I don't understand, though. Janice, how did you know the stripe on her wetsuit was magnesium?
Well, I just assumed, since magnesium burns when it reacts with water.
True, but how would you know that? As I recall, you said you don't know much about science.
Well, I must have mentioned it once or something.
Yes, I imagine you did.
Janice, if you know something about how Jennifer died, you should tell us.
No, I don't know anything.
Perhaps you were an unwilling accomplice, but didn't actually do the deed. We could give you immunity.
She doesn't know anything.
Immunity? So I couldn't go to jail?
Correct.
Janice?
Mark did it, just like you said.
What? That's a lie.
Oh, come on, Mark. Give it up. You killed her for no reason. She wasn't poaching. She was helping the police with a sting operation.
She what?
Well, I'm afraid we may have misled you a little bit there.
What do you mean?
She wasn't working with the police. She really was capturing the turtles and selling them to repay her gambling debts.
You lied?
My proverbial pants are on fire.
And you're under arrest.
This is a mistake. She's the one. She did it.
Tell it to the judge.
So they killed her with magnesium.
Yes, apparently water only makes magnesium burn more. The fire is hot enough to actually split the oxygen in the water apart from the hydrogen so that the fire can continue to burn.
That's amazing.
Yes, and deadly.
So, the woman was sneaking out at night to capture the turtles and sell them on the black market?
Yes. Apparently she had started working with the two environmentalists just so they would show her where to find the turtles. Mark found out about her secret midnight swims and murdered her to save the turtles that she was killing. He actually claimed justifiable homicide at his trial.
Unsuccessfully, I assume.
Correct.
That is quite the story. I couldn't see any way for someone to burn underwater, unless there was magic involved or something.
I sense a segue coming.
You know me too well, Doctor. I was just thinking about Friday Night Magic out at Battle Zone Games. People get together each Friday night around 6 to play.
That sounds like a good time. I myself am more of a board game player, but I understand they also have a board game night.
Yes, on Monday nights also at 6. No matter what kind of game you play, Battle Zone Games has what you need. Stop in and see them just off Interstate 380 north of Cedar Rapids or online at battlezonegames.com. So, Doctor, what story are you going to tell us about next week?
Next week, we're going to hear a ghost story. Holmes and I were called to a house haunted by a headless spirit in their garden.
Sounds intriguing. I can't wait to hear it.
And I can't wait to tell it.
Tonight's Watson Files adventure was written by Scott Strosahl. Spencer Holmes and Dr. Watson were played by Michael Helgens and Greg Kilberger. Additional voices were performed by Steve Rimpeachy and Stacy Freedy. For Battle Zone Games, this is Craig Dowling saying good night from Strobe Studios.